Every so often, there is a moment in time that has the potential to change everything. This is one of those moments. You just simply replace "I can't" with "how can I?" It's not your fault when unfair circumstances knock you down. But it's always your responsibility to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move yourself forward. If you're going to think like MacGyver, if you're going to switch from "I can't" to "how can I," say yes, yes? Okay, now it's time to get to work. There are two types of emotions that matter when it comes to getting stuff done. Emotions that give you energy and emotions that take it away. And the feeling of being overwhelmed is one of those negative emotions. It's a vicious cycle. Your productivity tanks, your focus is non-existent, you can't get anything done, and then the list of things that you have to do gets even bigger, which in turn makes you feel even more overwhelmed. Now, this is because most likely you are asking the wrong question. People who feel overwhelmed often ask themselves something like, how the hell am I going to get all this done? How am I going to get all of this work done? So that question sets you up for failure, like you want to feel overwhelmed. In order to overcome feeling overwhelmed, you need to replace that question with a new one. And also, we need to give you a couple of different processes that you can use to try to prevent yourself from feeling this way in the first place. And then when life happens, because we know things happen, right? When life happens, a process to get you back on track quickly. So look, in order to gain more productivity, we've got to get rid of the things that are zapping you of it. And here are 4 thieves of productivity. I got this straight out of The One Thing. It's a phenomenal book. Number 1, the inability to say no. There's a quote in there, and I don't think he even knew who said this originally, but it says, "One yes must be defended over time by 1,000 no's." Some of you have a big problem saying no to things. You feel like you're being mean, or you have some sort of obligation to say yes when people ask you for things. But the reality is the most successful people are the people that have the ability to say no. They understand that it's a superpower. This is what focus is. When you're focusing on one thing, you're saying no to everything else. And for some people, it seems kind of weird. It's like, all right, I need to give everybody attention. It's like your to-do list is a bunch of kids, and everybody gets the same amount of attention. And well, even that doesn't work. That's why balance is a myth. I got to stay balanced. Well, no, that's actually not true. You should be unbalanced. The definition of balance, right? Equal weight on one side and the other. When it comes to your to-do list and it comes to the things you have to do, not everything on your list is equal. Something matters more than something else. And so that becomes your most important work. So your most important work is what you say yes to, and everything else is what you say no to. All right, let's soften it up, right? It doesn't have to be no, but it has to be not right now. Whatever, it's amazing word. It's no for now. If you can't gain the ability to say no, you'll never win your productivity back. You'll never be able to overcome the feelings of being overwhelmed, because these other people, these things are always going to have power over you, because all they have to do is present themselves, because you can't say no. Number 2, energy. Now this is key. You ever know that person that doesn't eat very well, they don't get a bunch of sleep, they don't exercise, they can't find the time to call anybody back or do anything. They're so focused on one thing, but they're failing in every other aspect of their life. And if that's you, it's important to understand that not only is that dangerous, but it's zapping you of the energy that you need to be productive. So we can break up energy into 5 key areas. 1 is spiritual energy, so you can meditate for that or pray or whatever. 2 is physical energy. So that's eat right, exercise, get the proper amount of sleep. Then there's emotional energy. Hug, kiss, just kind of hang out, laugh with people you enjoy, family, friends, loved ones. Mental energy. This is where you set goals, you plan, you calendar. And then finally, business energy. Now, business energy is really all about priority. It's protecting your most important work. Now, if you start your day and make sure that all of these things have been addressed, you'll spend the rest of your day kind of coasting through because you've done your most important stuff. This sets you up for success. So energy is key. Number 3, your environment. I can't stress this one enough. It's not only your physical surroundings, but it's the people in your life. In fact, it's mostly the people in your life. If your environment doesn't support your goals, then something has to change, right? Something has to change. You really know the answer already. You just have to kind of think about it and take that inventory. You don't need a chart or a diagram or any more qualifying questions to make that answer. You already know. You know who's good for you and who's not good for you. You know the situations that are beneficial for you and the situations that are detrimental. Now it's time to take the action and remove yourself from the places and the people that are not positive for you and connect yourself with the people and the places that are. So the 4th thief of productivity is the fear of chaos. When you've got a lot going on, there's going to be shit everywhere. And people that have a fear of chaos, they will actually slow themselves down, slow a bunch of stuff down unnecessarily because they don't want to make a mess. You ever seen somebody tile, right? They're doing like a tile backsplash and you see it at the end and it's all beautiful. You should see it in the middle, right? The middle, there's shit everywhere. It's messy. It does not look that good, but that's part of the process. You can't have fear of stuff being a little chaotic. It's gonna happen. Any successful person, any person that is ascending to the next level of their career or the next level of their exercise or the next level of anything is going to have that feeling where, man, there is just a bunch kind of swirling around. That's okay. Don't be afraid of that. Understand that everybody goes through that. Everybody experiences that. It's normal. Let it happen. So if you want a kind of an easy way, maybe we can come up with some sort of acronym. All right, here we go. If we can reorder it. Hold on. We're going to do it right here live. All right. Okay. Let's make it feet, right? F-E-E-T. So F is the fear of chaos. E is the energy. The other E is environment. And then the T is the inability to say no. Those are the 4 thieves of productivity. Feet. I like that. All right. So before I was telling you that if you're overwhelmed, you're asking the wrong question. You're asking, how the hell am I going to get all this done? Instead of asking, how the hell am I going to get all of this done? Let's replace that with another question, a better question. Because success isn't simultaneous. It's sequential. That means one thing at a time. So here's the question, and it's called the focusing question. What's the one thing I can do right now such that by doing it, everything else is either easier or unnecessary? Let me break that down. What's the one thing, not 2, not 3, I can do? This is important. Not something that you could, would, or should do. Please don't replace that. It's something that I can do right now, such that by doing it. Now, here's a condition. That means it can't just be a thing. It's got to be a thing that has a condition on the end of it. And so, such that by doing it, everything else is either easier or unnecessary. Hands down, the most powerful question I've ever asked myself. And you use it all the time in all aspects of your life. In business, in relationships, with your exercise, in your health. It works. Okay, so that's your new question. So now that you've got your new question, it's all good, right? Everything's good. Just ask your question. What's the one thing I can do right now such that by doing it, everything else is easier or unnecessary? And no feeling overwhelmed, right? If only it were that easy. It's going to take practice. You've been doing it the other way for a long time, so we're going to need to practice this thing. So let's get some practical actions that you can take right now to start putting this into your daily routine. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure you memorize this question. Then get some 3x5 cards. And I want you to write down all the things on your to-do list. Now, typically 10% will come from somebody's email. 40% will come from their to-do list. And the rest will come from their head. It's crazy how many things that are on your mind that you know you need to do and they're never written down anywhere. So the first step here is to write each item down on a 3x5 card. So if you have 100 things to do, then you need 100 3x5 cards. And it doesn't matter what order the cards are in. It literally doesn't matter. You're gonna take one card in your left hand, one card in your right hand, and you're gonna ask the question, out of these two cards, which one is the one thing? And you make a decision, almost like a football game or some sort of competition, a head-to-head battle. That's exactly what it is. You put one in the loser pile and one in the winner pile. Now, if at any time you take more than 3 seconds to make a decision, both of those automatically go into the loser pile. Keep on doing this until you get down to the one thing. It's kind of fun, actually. Some people lay them down on the floor, almost like a bracket for like a basketball tournament, right? You could do them in your hand with a pile and boom, 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 boom. No big deal. But at the end of the day, you're going to have that one thing. Everything else, you're going to say, no, not now. You're not going to ask yourself, how the hell am I going to do all of these things? You're going to ask yourself, what's the one thing? But now you have the answer, this. That's it. Now you focus on that one thing. Very simple trick. Once you start to use this in your daily lives, you're going to see a difference. Been teaching this to people for years. And every single time people come back with the feedback, nothing short of life-changing. But we recognized something a few years ago that kept popping up. Now, remember I told you there were two types of emotions. Emotions that give you energy and emotions that take energy away. So if you have an emotion that takes energy away, it could be anger, frustration, sadness, whatever. Somebody said something to you and you feel a certain way. That will knock you off your productivity. That will ruin your productivity. It does every time. So here's how we handle that. You take that same 3x5 card, right? Get a new one and write down what it is. Oh, so-and-so said this and I feel frustrated. Doesn't matter what it is. Then you flip the card over and you answer this question. What am I going to do? Not what should I do? Not what would I do? What am I going to do? And again, give yourself a time limit. Don't take all day to answer this question. Give yourself 30 seconds. Write something down. And that becomes an item on your to-do list like everything else. And it has to earn the right for you to say yes to it. And when it's time to deal with that, you give it the attention it needs. And you're going to notice a boost in productivity. You're going to notice a boost in focus. And you're going to notice all of a sudden you're not feeling overwhelmed because you now have control. You have your purpose. Your purpose sets your priority and your priority impacts your productivity.